All right, boys. So I'm here to talk about Eleague and basically how they treat us and how the event is run and basically our results or lack thereof. And I'm not going to be talking about roster changes or anything like that you may have heard online on Reddit, HLTV, whatever, Twitter. I'm not talking about that. So if that's why you're here, you should probably just go and check out a different video. So going right into Eleague, basically. Basically the way they run the event is like if you arrive in a group, they'll have like um, a huge like shuttle van pick you up and bring you to the hotel. If you arrive by yourself, you don't have to wait or anything. They just bring like a solo black SUV to pick you up. So you get to the hotel really fast, just right when you land. Um, So that's really nice. There's no really waiting or anything. So you go directly to the hotel, chill a little bit, unpack, whatever, shower. I always shower. Planes make me feel all grimy and stuff. So yeah, then we have media day on the day that you arrive. So you got to go and take some pictures and yada yada yada. They have dinner for you. E-League Finals was running that weekend, so they gave you the option to actually stay and watch the match. Which is like something normally I probably would have done, but I was super tired because my flight was at 3 a.m., so I just went straight to bed. Woke up at like 9:30 a.m., had breakfast. The event had a shuttle running at 10:30. Shuttled to the event, set up, death match for a little bit, straight in the match versus Immortals. Um, yeah, so we play Immortals pretty much like 12:30 ish, somewhere around there, and the match went really well for us in terms of like the vetoes. We got it down to cash, which is a map that we were pretty happy that we got it on. Um, it's nice to play cash versus a team that is very strong on maps like Cobble, Train, and that kind of stuff. Because usually their cash is weaker for some reason. I don't know why, but that's just like the vibe I get. So we got cash. Personally, I don't think SK Immortals and those type of Brazilian teams are super strong on cash. So yeah, we were pretty happy. Everyone on my team was glad that it was cash. So we went up, one pistol, did mid control to B, mid control to A. Pretty much went up like 7-2, something like that. Pretty good start for us. Pretty much the best you could ask for. But then we got ecoed, of course. But it wasn't really like an eco where we did anything really stupid. It was like we went towards A. I knew they could probably be ecoing, but I thought to myself, A is pretty safe. You just go A, molly quad, molly the fence, nade sight, molly tractor or forklift from door. And then their close spots are kind of funneled out, They'll take a lot of nade damage in the site because, we have full utility when you're up 7-2. But we open the door, bam, someone gets killed through smoke. Another person goes out A main, dies through to either forklift or through a smoke again, or both, maybe. And then it was a 5v3. Me and Sick got it to like a 2v3. I ended up getting killed planting. I probably should have faked the plant and held the smoke I threw. But, it's one of those things where sometimes you plant and they just don't peek you. And sometimes, so then you waste all this time and your smoke ends up fading. Whereas, like, you could have just planted. So it's like one of those things where, versus like a really not very good players, I think it's like a really good idea to just fake the plant. But when you play versus better players, a lot of times they're gonna fake sound and fake noise, and or maybe they'll jiggle and shoot some bullets to make you get off the defuse, and you'll just end up wasting so much time trying to plant or faking the plant that they'll end up flanking one of your players, something like that. So I don't know. There's always like a little bit of thought when it comes to if you want to plant or fake it. But yeah, it ended up getting me killed. Sick lost a 1v3. Next round, Henny got like a pretty nice 2K from the A site, and then ended up living forever and not even dying, I don't think. And then they started getting dual ops and kind of just pushing around the map and, getting a lot of opening picks and stuff like that. And it ended up being 7-7. Last round, we went heavy towards A. They did an A main push. I just traded and pretty much got 2 kills off that. Pretty nice shot on forklift. Then I threw a smoke on top of red box and just kind of like killed the guy coming truck with an op. There's a clip of it on HLT.org about it if you want to see it. It was not the most amazing round ever, but it was all right. 8-7, but honestly, the half could have been like 11-4, 10-5 very easily. Like, very, very easily it could have been like that. So, all in all, I was like, yeah, you're happy you won the half and you got 8-7, but honestly, like, it was like we should have had way more rounds. So then we went into CT side. We won pistol. We didn't lose any guns or like really get ecoed. Then we did a B push. I believe I shot bolts a couple times in the chest, and then Skylar naded him in the sunroom. Then we just kind of played passive on the 5v4. Then I told them to do the boost in B at the back of the boxes, and they killed bolts in sunroom again. And at this point, it's honestly like it's like 12-7 or 13-7 or something like that. We're just running them over, and then they just started hitting B over and over and over again. And one round I was there, and me and FNS got like mollied and smoked, and I had an AWP and a smoke. He gets killed, I get killed. Pretty big money round for us. Score ends up being like 13, 13 or something like that. And I don't know. They just basically started splitting the map a ton. Faking A, going B, faking B, going A. Not too much mid control from them, honestly. And it pretty much just split us up, and we ended up just losing out and winning, that one round eventually, but it wasn't enough. So we lost cash, which was pretty disappointing, but, what can you do? 16-14 loss. It felt like we probably should have won that map. Then we didn't have any more matches that day, so I just pretty much went in DN for like 4 hours until like 6 p.m. where they were closing, so I had to leave. I DM'd a lot that day. Then we just kind of went out, went home. I went to the gym, went to bed pretty early again, got a good 8.5 hours sleep. Woke up, the Turner people said they were going to have breakfast for us at the place, which they did. So I just ate there, eggs, sausage, potatoes, that kind of stuff, bacon. And pretty much ate that for breakfast. And I had a Starbucks coffee because there's like a Starbucks like 2 minutes from our hotel walking. So pretty much ready for the Muffin Lightning game. Fueled up, my whole team ate, coffee, blah, blah, blah. Warm up a little bit, kind of went versus Muffin Lightning. Pretty easy 2-0, honestly. It's not that they're a bad team. They have very talented and skilled players. I've been on teams with Sanks before, and I've played versus those guys before, and it's not like they're bad or anything. It's mostly just that they have really good aim, but they don't really have much direction in terms of like strategy. None of it really seemed to make much sense to me, so we kind of just ran them over on CT sides, and they didn't really have much teamwork. It was like if they didn't have a player come up big, they pretty much lost a round. So they'd have one guy, picking upper B on Mirage, and then a guy would pick out A hulls. One of them would die, one of them would get a kill but die, and it ended up being like a 4v3 for us, and we just kind of played passive and win. I mean, like I said, their strats were very basic, and it was a pretty easy 2-0. So, then we had like 10 minutes to go and eat and stuff because, we ate at like 10:30, and now it's like probably like 1:30 or something like that. So we ate really quick. I think they had Mediterranean chicken and like penne noodles and spaghetti and stuff. So we ate some of that really quick. Went back to the stage. C9 was setting up. Play C9. We get the vetoes down to Train, Cash, and Dust 2, which honestly were pretty good vetoes for us. Pretty good map selection because, besides Train, which is like Train and Mirage, they're like probably our two best maps. Besides that, the only map I would have preferred is I would have rather played them on Mirage than Train. But their Mirage is probably better than their Train, but at the same time, like our Train is worse than our Mirage, so that's why they picked Train versus us. And pretty much went into Train. Vetoes were pretty good. Pretty much just got slaughtered on Train. We threw a pretty easy pistol round, but even with that pistol round, it wouldn't have mattered. They had way more strats. They had outside rushes, outside rush fakes to inner, outside hits, to faking inner to coming back outside. They pretty much had like all the set strats and all the stuff to kind of pull our rotations apart and kill anyone that's playing aggressive. And just nothing really worked for us. Pretty much to win that map, we would have had to have players just kind of like hit really nice shots because tactically they were better. Then we went into Cash, and Cash was the map that I actually think we had like a good chance to beat them on. So we went into Cash, and we ended up losing Pistol, which we win a lot of T pistols on Cash, but we lost Pistol unfortunately, and we didn't get to build a big bank. And then like 3 gun rounds in a row, Ska got like an op pick. I believe he picked me boost, he picked twist B, and he picked sick down low mid. So like those are 3 gun rounds in a row where we had 3 different people get picked in different spots. And our Cash relies a lot on like a lot of Molotovs, a lot of smokes and utility and stuff like that. So without those resources, the rounds just kind of fell apart. They just, after he gets that pick, they're just going to fall back and play passive. So, I mean, there was nothing we could really do there. We just had to kind of fall back and wait out the round and try to like slowly take A or take a half-hearted mid control. But without 5 players on T-side Cash, it becomes really hard. So we ended up losing the half like 11-4, but even 4 rounds is like kind of lucky in my opinion. Like, I don't know. But yeah, then we went into CT side and we ended up winning Pistol, and we won the next 2 ecos pretty cleanly. And then we kind of just played default. We didn't really do as many pushes and stuff that we did versus Immortals. We kind of just played sites, and it worked really well, so we just kept doing it. Like first gun round, we just played sites. It worked really well, so we just kept doing it. The score ended up getting to something like 12-12. And honestly, at some point around the 10-12 mark for score, we probably should have started pushing and gone away from the default and, push door, push B, late push B, like something to disrupt their strats, because at this point they're going to have figured out like, I'm mostly opping like mid and A. We're playing 2, 1 checker, 1 site a lot in B, and we're playing like 1 highway, 1 site. So they're going to know our setup at this point, and they're going to start, running strats to counter how we're playing. So what they started doing is kind of what Immortals did at the end. They started doing like a huge B execute with 3 people, sending Stewie in by himself, and then all the other players going back towards A while they have a dude door like listening and waiting, and a dude like kind of back A main. So they were like pretty prepared in terms of strategy, and they kind of just split our A and B defense, and then the next round they would go and fake A and go B. Door guy would make presence with A main while they threw some other nades, and then 3 guys would kind of walk in B. And I don't know, they pretty much did the same stuff as Immortals, just splitting us up, not doing a ton of mid control. Generally, we're pretty good at stopping mid control, so maybe that's why people don't run it that much versus us. And yeah, then the score ended up being like 14-13 for them, and we had 3 guns and 2 pistols, and we probably should have saved on this round, but I guess people were pretty confident they could get a weird kill by like surprising them with the pistols or something. So everyone wanted to buy. There was no one that really said no, we should save. So pretty much everyone's fault on that round. So we should have saved though on that round, but then we bought that round, we lost that, and then that was pretty much the half for us. We just had to force for the next 2 rounds, and we ended up losing, and that's pretty much the whole event for us. C9 and Immortals are going to the harder qualifier, which is very hard actually. It's not going to be easy for anyone. I have no idea how to even predict who's going to win that. So yeah, good luck to them. Thanks to Eleague for having us and treating their players right. I think they probably have one of the most comfy setups in terms of like, the bathroom is like 1 second away and your player room is 2 steps away, and everything is super close, and there's always like, you're not like flying through a crowd of 500 people to get to the bathroom, and going to your player lounge isn't like across the world, because some events, the stage will be like over here, and then on the far side of like a 10-minute walk will be like where the player lounges or something like that. Which, you know, I mean, if you were running out a huge stadium, there's not a lot you can do. I'm not saying it's anyone's fault. I'm just saying in terms of like commodities and stuff, you know, E-League's a really nice event to play at. So besides the fact that it's East Coast, because it takes a really long time to fly there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I just made this so long that my monitor turned off. Peace.